Welcome to VSP News from Kolman's Corner. I am your host, David A. Kolman, editor of Fleet Maintenance Magazine, the only publication that is all maintenance, all management, all vehicle classes, all the time. I visited with Todd Shelton, president of Fontaine Parts Connection, a manufacturer of fifth wheels and heavy-duty parts, to discuss some issues associated with fifth wheels. He noted that air suspensions, which are common on today's tractors, can occasionally create some coupling issues, including miscoupling.
Today's trucks with it's more common to have air suspension on today's trucks, and while that's a great convenience for freight and also for the driver, it's more comfortable. It does set up some coupling issues sometimes, because a lot of times drivers will drop their airbags and back under a trailer and then air back up to couple the fifth wheel to the kingpin. No fifth wheel is designed to be coupled vertically. They're all designed to be coupled horizontally. And sometimes when a driver tries that vertical coupling, the kingpin will sit on top of the fifth wheel and it'll feel like it's hooked, but it's actually not.
To avoid such situations, Fontaine has a patented anti-high hitch feature.
Our wheel will not lock when it's high pinned or when the kingpin comes down on top of the fifth wheel. But in some cases, some fifth wheels will close and the driver will have the illusion that it's locked around the kingpin when in fact it's not. So in many cases, the tractor trailer may stay coupled for several miles down the road before a driver makes a turn, and the kingpin will slide off the top plate and the trailer will become uncoupled from the tractor, which of course is a dangerous situation.
Exclusive to the company is its no slack technology, which automatically adjusts the fifth wheel for slack every time a trailer is hitched.
The lock around the kingpin is a jaw and wedge, and the wedge is constantly adjusting against the jaw to keep it tight against the kingpin. What this does is gives you no slack in the fifth wheel. The kingpin will not move inside the top plate, and so you don't have the vibration transmitting up through the powertrain to the driver's seat. It's a much more comfortable ride, and it's easier on the equipment long term.
Lubrication is one of the most common challenges with fifth wheels.
One of the most common issues with fifth wheels is lubrication, either too much or not enough. A lot of people put a lot of grease on the top plate, and many times when they couple to the trailer, a lot of that grease is pushed off. When it's pushed off, sometimes it goes down into the locking mechanism. It can gum things up there, so you always want to inspect and make sure the lock is working properly. The other issue is not enough lubrication, and that comes in from the jaw and wedge perspective, as well as the pivot pins on each side. We have grease fittings on the pivot pins. Those need to be lubricated regularly, and the jaw and wedge needs to have some lubricant put there intermittently in between them.
Because there are numerous types of fifth wheels and options, Shelton stressed that it is essential to select the appropriate one for the intended application. Visit Fleet Maintenance Magazine online to learn more about fifth wheels and Fontaine Parts Connection. Thank you for tuning into VSP News from Kolman's Corner. I am your host, David A. Kolman, editor of Fleet Maintenance Magazine, the only publication that is all maintenance, all management, all vehicle classes, all the time. Until the next broadcast, keep up to date with what is going on in our industry by visiting Fleet Maintenance Magazine online.